It's really helped us micro focus on meeting that need immediately for those customers. And that's what's been great right now.
Were you looking into chat, or was it really this situation that drove you to want to explore?
The fear of adding it probably stopped us from doing it until we were kind of forced. But now that we've done it, it's so easy. I should have done it a long time ago.
You know, when we get a chance to look back on this situation and what we've lived through, and what our members and retailers, throughout the country have been able to operate through it, there's going to be a lot of lessons from so many different corners of this industry, from the country, from just so many different walks of life, about how we all worked through this, and how businesses changed, and how businesses are adapting and retailers are adapting. And another great example of that from the Nationwide family is Don's TV and Appliance down in Tyler, Texas. And we recently had the chance, that right there was the voice of Donnie Thedford of Don's, chatting with, we had the chance to chat with him about, what it's been like navigating this COVID situation for them down there in Tyler, Texas. And had a lot of great insights. Don's recently rejoined the Nationwide family, and, almost immediately they were able to start taking advantage of some of the digital offerings, working chat into their strategy, digging more deeply into social media and promoting and marketing, the efforts they were taking to remain open. A lot of great insights from Don, and, stuff that I think, whether it's COVID or not, it can be applied to business, and offers a great, level of detail around what they're doing, why they think it's important, and really what making that investment was like for them. So we talked to him about chat, about social media, whether this was kind of in the game plan for them anyway. That's kind of something that we've seen a lot is, whether it's digital or other areas of the business you might have been looking to improve. One way or the other, this COVID situation has kind of forced a lot of businesses to adapt more quickly maybe than they would have anticipated. So if you're looking for that glimmer of hope or positivity through all this, it's that, the independent retail channel has kind of shown its ability to be nimble and make those quick adjustments to, make the most of a situation and the cards they've been dealt. So, Donnie, a great interview, one that, I've been looking forward to sharing for some time. So let's just go ahead and dive into it.
All right, we're back on the Independent Thinking podcast, and excited to chat today with a recently rejoined member of the Nationwide family, Don's TV down there in Tyler, Texas, and we have co-owner Donnie Thedford. Appreciate you joining, taking some time out of your busy schedule down there. I know it's a little crazy right now, but appreciate you coming in and working through some technical glitches today to get on the podcast.
As they say, the new norm, but I think we got it worked out, and I would say we're glad to be back.
See, this is our new norm, right?
There's a page, and unfortunately, where I'm at, I can't turn that one off. So we're glad to be back, a part of Nationwide for sure.
No, that's awesome. And Donnie, I know we've got a ton of cool stuff to talk about today, but first of all, I just want to ask, given the current state of things, how are you doing personally? How are you taking all this new norm, as you put it?
Rob, we've been very fortunate at Don's. I mean, our particular area, our governors kind of allowed each county to decide their own fate, and we are in a shelter in place and have been for over 3 weeks now. But we were deemed essential, and so we've been open. And so, our business has actually been brisk. What we have found is sheltering in place lends to using appliances, whether it's laundry, refrigeration, or cooking products, a lot more than they've ever been used before. So, those things get a little more pressure. They tend to break. They need repair, which we also service everything that we sell. So our repair business and our sales are up right now.
Wow, that's great. And you think about that 7 to 10 year thing. Usually, I guess, ranges are used to just cooking dinner. Now it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner in some cases. That's something you don't think about, but obviously it is the case right now.
No doubt. I mean, that's the comments we hear. I sold a dishwasher actually on chat to text this
Oh.
morning, and the lady was complaining that she's washing all these dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't even. I'm sick of dishes. So
Yeah,
I'm ready to switch to paper plates, just to, plates and dishes and maybe some plastic utensils at this point. I know I can't be the only one feeling that way. So,
I have teenage children, so I'm teaching them some good
oh,
hard lessons on how to handle those dishes and get them in the dishwasher every night, because it's running every day now, whereas typically maybe every couple of days for us. So, and I think that's the norm across the country.
yeah,
Truthfully. So,
it's crazy, but no, it's certainly true. And, I obviously present some opportunities for appliance retailers out there, but, um, give for those out there who might not know Don's TV, give us a little background on the business and kind of, your path to being involved in the business.
well, it was formed November of 1979 by my father and one other person. And so we've grown substantially since that. We're still a one store operation. We joined Nationwide approximately 25 years ago. Remembers for many years before this brief 3-year hiatus. But like I said, just glad to
Yep.
be back by marketing group. But so about 10 years ago, right when the housing started falling, Don thought it was a perfect time to sell part of the business to his two sons. So he got top dollar for his business was going down. We give him a hard time about that, but we made it through that, and we went from 2 employees in 1979 to 48 employees today. Run full service. We run our own delivery department, and of course, sales as well.
Now, what's Tyler, Texas? So I'm from Philadelphia.
Sure.
No hard feelings. I don't know if you're in like Cowboys country
Well, I
necessarily,
mean, you don't
but
like the Eagles, sure.
but so what's business like in Tyler, Texas?
So Tyler, Texas is kind of in the center on an interstate between Dallas and Shreveport, Louisiana. We're 80 miles between those two cities, but Tyler is a mid to upper level income community. We have two major hospitals for anywhere in this area. This is where everyone comes. We also have a 4-year University of Texas at Tyler here with a little over 12,000 students enrolled, and then we also have one of the largest junior colleges in the United States, Tyler Junior College, with a little over 10,000 enrolled. And so it's a pretty diverse town. My family's born and raised here. All of us attended public schools here. My children attend public schools, my brothers. And so, I think what's helped us be successful, we care about the community. And that's really the message that we've been putting out. We have all of our careers, but even more so the last 45 days or so when this pandemic started.
Yeah, it's been crazy. You think about just how these last few weeks have gone. But before diving even deeper into that, is obviously family-owned business. Was retail always in the cards for you?
I laughingly say I've been working here since I was 6 or 7. But in truthfulness, when I was in high school, every summer I worked in delivery. But that was when it was me and one other person. We pulled the product, we prepped the product, we threw it in the back of a pickup truck, and we delivered it. Well, now we run 6 bobtail trucks. We have a 15,000 square foot warehouse with a loading dock, and have 12 guys. That's all they do. I give them a hard time, and I'm like, hey, I had to prep it, load it, and deliver it. All you'll do is take it off the dock and deliver it, but somebody else preps it for you. But that's just how business has changed and how our community has grown. We've grown alongside that, and so I learned at an early age I love doing what I was doing. And so when I was going to junior college here locally, I began to work full time. I took early morning classes so I could get here, and definitely sales is what I knew. Whether it be appliances or televisions, I knew I was going to be in the sales industry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you kind of mentioned how you and your brother took this on 10 years ago at the time when another sort of economic crisis was happening, and now
Right.
10 years later, here we are with COVID. I mean, how has business? There's a lot of changes we can get into that I know we will, but just sort of generally speaking, how has business been impacted by this for you guys?
Well, no doubt that our store traffic, the visits in store are way down. but like I say, our actual delivered sales are up, and our deposits are up, and so we're proud of that. But that's because a lot of the things we've done on the backside with our website, and our ability to chat to text and things like that. And the messages we were putting out on social media, we are here. They know who we are. We see them in the community. We're the people we can trust. You can trust in our community, and so we have been really emphasizing that we don't feel there's a safer place in Tyler, Texas to buy your appliances, because we didn't talk, Rob, but I mean, I have a Lowe's, a half a mile from me, a Home Depot a mile and a half from me. I have a Walmart Supercenter directly across the street from me. We have a Sam's Club, which is equivalent to Costco
Yep.
in
Yep.
most people's areas. And so, we have all the same competition that everyone else has. Uh, but they know us, and they know that we care about them, and they're not just another number. And so that's really what we've been emphasizing, is that we're cleaning rigidly every day in every department. We implemented it over 3 weeks ago for our delivery department, our service guys to wear masks and gloves when they enter a home. Uh, and we've been asking the CDC recommended questions, and fortunately we've had some truthful answers, and we
Yeah.
had to schedule some of those things. I
Yeah.
had one yesterday.
Yeah, it's crazy that you kind of got to do these pre-screenings now and things like that. But I can constantly keep saying it, that this new normal is kind of what we're operating under. And I know you guys have done a lot on the digital side. I look at I think you shared a couple commercials that you mentioned with me. So talk about the importance of, in some parts of the country, you're seeing that marketing spend sort of come down as, people don't want to talk about their business, things like that. They want to kind of direct those dollars elsewhere. What's the importance in your mind to get that message out there into your, consumer base?
Well, and I will tell you, we did pull back on our advertising budget. We immediately, the day that the pandemic really started taking a foothold in my area, you know, we work with a local agency on a
Hmm.
local level for our television, radio, and print, and have worked with them for many years. And so they stopped by and said, "Hey, I've already cut everything to 50%. I've let everybody know for all my clients." And we said, "Take it to 25," because we just didn't know, if
Yeah.
they were going to shut us down like other places. You don't want to just send money to the fire. And so we're still at about a 25% spend on television, and print and radio. But what we have found, because we've partnered with those guys over the years, is many of them are running us way more than that 25%, because you know what? They're hurting too. With
Yeah.
restaurants not advertising, they have plenty of airwaves to just, so a little bit is going a little longer than it has in the past. And so we appreciate our local television affiliate sponsorship of that. But socially, we feel the same way. We're not running our fun come get a free ice cream cone when you buy a refrigerator promotions. It just doesn't feel right. And so, the last couple of spots we didn't have a script. I mean, it was just literally off the cuff from the heart. And
And I,
actually had a customer call and say, "I swear y'all had tears in your eyes." And we may have, because we
yeah.
do care about our community and the people, our customers that choose to come in here.
Yeah, it's crazy, and you hit it perfectly. Is that when you don't have that script in front of you, it does come from the heart, and it sounds more meaningful, and it's clear, you know, just watching those commercials that you guys, it's personable. It feels like you're talking directly to. It said this is coming off cheesy, and I don't mean it to, but it sounds like you're talking to
Right.
your customer, and delivering that message to them, and feeling the same impact that they are. So it feels real, really, when you boil it down.
Well, and in reality, we are,
Yeah.
because we live next door to them. And as I've told my own family, we're exposed. I'm really struggling right now finding masks and gloves. They're hard to get. And I want to call these people and go, I know these are reserved for essential worker, really medical personnel right now.
Hmm.
It's hard to get. Well, but we are essential. We're deemed essential, in my county, but it's hard for me to get that protective gear from my employees. I'm okay right now, but I'm getting to where I'm getting a little nervous. And so I'm going to make a few calls and maybe argue with them that, hey, we were deemed essential. We're open. If someone's refrigerator's out, they can't keep their medication cool. They can't keep their food from spoiling. And so we have to be there to take care of them.
And
Because we serviced many ER workers. Had an ER nurse call yesterday, and she couldn't answer those COVID questions with a no. She said, I
Right.
may have been exposed. I'm an ER nurse. And of course, we want to take care of her. And so, we just asked that she stay in the other end of her house, that she clean the area before we get there. And then we would clean it again once we arrive and
Wow.
before we leave. And so, we did make the service call.
Wow, that's awesome. And I know another way you guys are continuing to serve is, ramping up those digital efforts and virtual efforts to be able to interact and engage with customers and to be able to talk to them, sell to them, and all that sort of stuff. So tell us a little bit about, kind of flashback 45 days to what your digital offerings look like to where they are now and kind of how things have changed so quickly and what that change has been like.
Well, the first initial couple of weeks, it was really Facebook related. We do the normal post that most people do on their Facebooks. The little,
Yep.
I have one today that's Earth Day and things like that. But I did a video there again, no script, just had a salesman film me, sent it to my ad agency. They posted it. I think we ended up spending about $10 just boosting it a couple of days later. And man, it just blew up. But it was essentially just telling people, hey, we know there's concern. We know you're worried a little bit, but we're already taking the precautions that we can to protect you and our own employees. And then so we followed that up about 10 days later, which in a time frame was 3 days before we were shelter in place. So we're still operating business as normal in my county. But on 3 days before that, I made a video, and for some reason, the words came to my mouth. I kept saying, as your essential business, as your essential appliance. And some of that may have been to kind of, top of mind awareness in case somebody
Yeah.
listens that, hey, we are essential, don't close us down. And so that thing took on, I think we had 4,000 views, 24, 25 plus shares, which I know in some respects it's not a big number, but for my area, that's pretty big, especially just talking about appliances. And again, wasn't talking about product. I was just talking about people, relationships. And if you have a need, we're here for you, because that's really what we're doing. We've kind of put any promotions on hold.
Right.
And then that day, the next day is when I just thought I could have some friends in government who said, we feel like Friday we're going to shelter in place. And they let me know that. And so I started scrambling. How can I communicate? And so I immediately jumped on Podium's website. I had already looked at them at, several different shows, and just started chat to text with someone there. Takes me through a little demo. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it. And so Jen and Greg Danko from Sight on Time run my website. I've known awesome, and you can trust those guys, and they react quickly, which has been a key right now during this pandemic, is quick reacting. And so anyway, they had the script added. I had chat going that afternoon. And I mean, we started chatting. Podium actually called me and goes, hey, we're training you next Monday, but I see you're already doing it. And I'm like, I
I
watched the
need it.
training video. It's not rocket science.
Yep.
And what's great about the Podium, and I do not work for Podium, and I don't get a discount for promoting them, but what are you going to do this afternoon with your friends? You're going to text them.
Yep.
I mean, text is how a lot of people communicate nowadays. I know it's how my children do. They actually Snapchat. And so we're not on Snap
Yeah.
yet, but I
Or
won't be
TikTok.
there. Oh yeah, I have a daughter. She's a TikToker
Yep.
for sure. But it really has blown up, and even this customer that I talked to this morning, because once we confirm a sale, we call them and verify all their information. She said, this is really how the future is going to be anyway. And I said, you're probably right.
So now, was this always something you were going to pursue anyway? Like, were you looking into chat, or was it really this situation that drove you to want to explore?
The situation, we've always looked at it, but when things are going good, Rob,
Yeah.
why change it and why spend that extra money? And honestly, initially when I talked to Podium and they told me the monthly price, I thought, man, how can I commit to that? I just cut all my advertising and I'm going to spend this, and I didn't have any proof that it would work, but obviously it's paid for itself and then some, substantially. And really the sales guys, the way there's all different types of ways that do it, but I do get the chats. And so, I monitor them. We keep them open longer than our normal store hours. And then I have my 2 sales managers and my top 2 salesmen also on the chat. And so they love it. Because you know what? They're legit sales leads. And they can do it while they're working on a quote for somebody else. They can chat from their desk. I mean, it's been a great thing for us.
So talk about that strategy of, how you pick and choose who's involved, who you want to be a part of that chat, and what the process is like of engaging with a customer in a platform like that.
Well, for us, my goal when I met with my team, because not all my team is on the chat.
Right.
And so my big number one thing was immediate response. And maybe that's just my personality, but I know if I were to text a friend of mine or my child and they don't respond in 10 minutes,
Get a
I'm
little
going,
nervous.
yeah, I'm going, number one, that's my phone. If it's my child, you better respond. But no, you kind of feel like you don't matter. And so, we've always made it a habit, even as a customer enters our store, to greet them immediately, that first impression. And you kind of have to take that same stance to me, with the chat to text. If they text, obviously it sends an automated response. Thank you, Don's employee will be with you shortly. But even if they're busy, I've just said, hey, text them, say, hey, this is Donnie. I'm with a customer. I'll get right back to you. And so that's what we're doing immediately. And like I say, the response has been great. The other thing it's done is, with websites and the catalogs, I don't know. I mean, Jen could tell you, but ours is probably 20,000 plus products on that catalog. And
Right.
we have a really nice 10,000 square foot showroom, but I don't display 20,000 products, and so within our website, we created a shop now button. And so when you click on that shop now button, that's basically our display models. That's what we focus on in our store. And so, on the chat to text, what we're doing is sending links. We say, we're looking for a French door refrigerator. Well, you got 800 you can choose from on the website. So we copy and paste the link immediately. Here's what we've got in stock. Here's what we recommend. And we get many questions like, do you have this certain model? Well, we don't have it. But if we have a Model X that's real close, we make sure and send that Model X with that. No, we don't have that in stock, but here's what we recommend. It's real close. Take a look. Most of the time, they don't know what they want.
Right.
I mean, my wife would not know which refrigerator she wanted when she clicked on there, and there's 14 pages of refrigerator,
Right.
And it's really helped us micro focus on meeting that need immediately for those customers. And that's what's been great right now.
Right. And the other thing too, I know, just thinking about general concerns that typically come up when someone's exploring an option like chat and kind of how to dedicate the time, time being a concern is that, if you have someone that might be, what you consider one of your better closers on chat, responding to people, that it takes away from their in-store in-store abilities and who they help. Is that something that you've noticed, or how do you mitigate
No,
that?
not at all. It's a great tool. And like I say, they're excited. Now, it's been a different time frame,
Fair,
because again,
fair.
our
Yep.
store traffic has been a little down. Now, I will tell you, in Texas, if people are watching the news, we've been a little more fortunate.
Hmm.
Maybe. No, I don't think anyone really knows the numbers, so who
Right,
knows?
right,
But
right.
in my particular area, we seem to be flattening the curve with what we've done the last 3 weeks. And so, probably starting this weekend, our store traffic really picked up and will seem very normal, if not better than normal. And so, time will tell because 2 weeks previous to that, they had plenty of time to chat,
Fair. Yeah.
because there wasn't a lot of people just rolling into the store. As many of the other dealers, I'm sure, will attest, the great thing is when they do come in, they're here to buy. They're not here to look around. And so that's been a good thing, for sure. And then obviously, if I could have 1,000 freezers in stock, I'd sell it. On it. But just for an example, yesterday out of the blue, we got in a dozen freezers. They've been on order forever. They show up, so we're like, oh, what are we going to do with these? Don't bring them to the floor. So my guy started calling the list they had. Well, I went back onto the chat and looked at chats that I had closed out from last week that were inquiring about freezers. Popped in there, text them. Just got in these freezers. They'll be gone in 10 minutes. Here's the price. Sold 2 of them just like that from
Wow,
4-day-old texts.
that's
And so,
crazy. I
yeah, it's pretty cool though.
any challenges in getting onto a platform like this?
Yeah, the only challenge I would foresee is once you sign up, is you have to add that script to your website. But again, with Jen and Greg, I mean, it was done in 30 seconds. I mean, I sent them the link, and then he emailed right back, it's on. And so there's really not. I mean, it was this the fear of adding it, probably stopped us from doing it until we were kind of forced. But now that we've done it, it's so easy. I should have done it a long time ago. I mean,
How,
it was crazy.
how about, any unexpected benefits as you were implementing it, things that you never expected to have success from or realize through a service like this that, now you look back, you're like, man, thank God.
Well, I think the chat to text is just beginning. We're in such a elementary stage of it. We'll just continue to grow that. We're beginning to use some of my builders on site. We do a lot of new construction business. From we kind of specialize from low end to high end. We'll sell it all, but we carry Wolf Sub-Zero, Viking, Thermador, all those high end guys.
Yeah.
And so we've had several that have jumped on our website on a job site and text, send me the cutouts. Well, we can
Wow.
send it right there through that text without it going through an email or PDF or anything like that. Excuse me. So that's been good.
So that's interesting. So you have actual guys, like part of your team that's contacting you through this as a way just to get some quick feedback and access
Absolutely.
to well, that's pretty cool. See, it's
Yeah.
not just for the customer at that point.
No, we can send messages between the team,
Yeah.
So instead of having to, we've gone back and forth from an automated phone answering system with voicemail to right now we're answering it ourselves, taking messages. Well, now I can actually send them a message. They call Miss Smith through the chat, and it comes to their assigned to them, and so that's been helpful. But again, the chat to text is exciting, and I think it'll continue even because I do think business has changed. I do think and pray that this COVID virus will subside and allow
Mm-hmm.
us to have some more the new normal, I guess. But I think everybody's seen it. You've seen it in your lives. I mean, just the fact that 10 years ago you didn't know what a text was, or probably 5 or 6 years ago, and so and there'll be another change. In a
Sure.
couple of years, Rob, chat to text will probably be old news, and we'll all be Snapchatting, filtering each other, or
Hey,
TikToking
that's
each other.
that's how this tech industry works. It's crazy, but I kind of in that vein, as you're looking ahead, you mentioned that you're starting to see traffic already kind of pick up. Maybe you might be on the early side of it for some of these parts of the country that haven't opened yet. As you plan for getting back to this new normal and what business is going to be like, what are some of the things that you're keeping an eye on, or you're trying to get ahead of as a store owner that you might want to warn some other parts of the country,
Sure,
independent
sure.
retailers in other parts of the country about?
That's a great question. I mean, really what we're struggling with now is availability. We were told, I mean, mid-March, early March by several of our key vendors, hey, you need to put some dated orders in. Well, at that point, we weren't going to put a lot of orders in anywhere because we just didn't know what tomorrow would bring or whether we were going to be open or whether, we were more concerned with keeping our people employed and keeping
Right.
them safe. So we didn't date a lot of orders, and we pulled back ordering, and really we keep a lot of inventory in stock, several $1,000,000 worth. And so we started micro focusing on selling what we had in stock. And, we were walking the warehouses. And that's the other big change I think it did for me as an owner. I'm involved. I'm close to all my 48 employees, but I'm involved every day in every department first thing in the morning now. I mean, I'm going into each department, encouraging them. Hey, this morning I went in and said, hey, don't get caught up and then it's over. It's getting better, but still clean. Clean
Mm-hmm.
your dollies, clean your trucks, wear your mask, wear your gloves. Because, fortunately, I can't force them to do that. I require them, but, they're grown men and grown women. And so they do have to make those decisions even outside of the workplace. And so I'm just continuing to encourage them that it's going to get better, but we're going to do this to be overly safe. But for other dealers, I would say, I know it's scary, but get some product. Right now, for us, laundry and refrigeration are the two big things. We saw a little uptick in dishwashers this week and then in cooking. But, from my major manufacturer, which is Whirlpool Corporation, pretty tough to get top load washers with agitators right now. And so some of that's due to their factories running at maybe 60% because of
Right.
COVID. And so availability has been our biggest struggle. And so I would say make sure you have the product ready for when you're open. People are going to be there to buy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And something else that I think we've been hearing a little bit about, as we get ready to, you don't know how far out it is. I know personally think it's going to be the stages type reopening situation in areas of the country. So don't know how far out that end of the tunnel is, but it feels like it's getting there. One last question, kind of a lofty, fun one I want to end with on you, or end with, for you. And that's, you mentioned obviously foot traffic was down. You had some more time in essence, at your store over these last few weeks. Any new activities, hobbies picked up, or even, store related? Did you do any training or anything like that while you had some extra time?
Really just been hyper focused on work. I mean,
Hey.
we've been getting here early, staying late, making sure things are running, making sure everybody's healthy. Because as an owner, it's our responsibility that if their child is sick with a fever, they can't come to work. And just having to keep up with 48 people, it's like having 48 family members that you have to take care of. So that's really what it's been. I play golf. I have a lot of hobbies, Rob. But,
so you don't need any more.
I've played 9 holes in the last 2 months. And, I've really been spending time with my kids, my family. I have a senior in high school and a freshman in high school. So, trying to spend a little more time with them when I'm home because they're struggling too.
Hey, absolutely. And, that maybe some of the most important time spent there is with family right now. So I could totally appreciate that. And, Donnie, I appreciate you taking the time. This was an awesome conversation, and one I think that, members throughout Nationwide will certainly be able to learn a lot from. And, we keep sending our well wishes. Hope things continue to go well for you guys. And, of course, if there's anything from the Nationwide family, you know where to reach out. You got Jen's number on speed dial. I'm sure you can go bother her.
She's great. And I would say the same thing. I'd wish all the members well wishes and to stay healthy. And really, more than anything, you're not going to learn it from me. I would just encourage you, don't be afraid. We're all scared of change sometimes. And sometimes when your hand's forced to it, that fear goes away. And so sometimes, we're going to make these lemons into lemonade. And that's been what we've been saying all along is whatever we can do to turn those lemons into lemonade, let's do it. And so, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, appreciate it again, and look forward to hopefully catching up, maybe in person sometime soon at a prime time or somewhere else. So thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Awesome, and thanks again to Donnie for taking time, out of his crazy schedule. I know he's got a lot going on down there, and we had some technical glitches at the outset that he got him we got him sorted out, and we're able to do this. So, and I'm glad we did because like I said at the top, I think there's going to be a lot of lessons to be learned and things we can look back on and kind of pull away from the situation. And they've got some great things that they're doing down there at Don's, and stuff that I think is super beneficial to this community, and they've got a great story to tell. So happy to do a little bit there to be able to help tell it. And as always, appreciate you listening to the Independent Thinking Podcast, and we will catch you next time.